And with that said, we're ready to hop into a game, everybody. Dignitas versus Team Liquid. Pick and ban is right around the corner. Thank you so much to the incredible analyst for breaking all that down. Raz, your Canadian accent sucks. I'm going to call you out on that right now. Really bad,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, eh?
Raz, eh? All right. Well, I like a lot of the points that you're making there, Jet, specifically around the top side. I think that the critics of Srtty will get louder and louder the longer he has this streak of rough games, but this is a rematch for him. If you remember, this was his first ever Tier 1 opponent in Impact. Day 1, they showed up, had to play against Team Liquid, so this is a little bit of a revenge opportunity for Srtty.
It is, but it's also a very motivated Team Liquid because we have a team that has been talking about using a lot of different substitutes and scrims, saying that nobody is irreplaceable, and really just trying to get back to that undefeated, I guess, momentum they had in the summer of 2024. So they do believe they can be the best team in the LTA, but they just haven't shown that necessarily in their regular season games outside of that beautiful weekend they had at the end of Split 1.
That was a great peak for them to hit right at that moment. So we'll see if Team Liquid can maintain that. But for right now, we have a couple of picks locked in, and it's Blue 1 Taliyah for Dignitas.
All right, Taliyah starting it out here, gonna have some roaming options. Of course, the Vi was already pre-banned by Team Liquid, so you don't get that classic combination. But TL got the early jump on the bottom lane prio of all prios, the Varus. So what do we want to pair it with here? Jungle Skarner for UmTi again, one of his classics.
This is interesting because I did feel like, at least in week 1, they were moving a little bit away from the things that UmTi is going to be best on. It's a pretty nerfed Skarner, though. It's not necessarily the same power level that we saw before, but the core of those first 2 picks would just be very classic Team Liquid.
Give that engage, more tankier jungle for UmTi. And now let's see what Sheiden wants to answer with here. It was hovering to the Zhao, but it's instead the Jayce locked in for Srtty. All right, talking about pressure now, you're blind picking into Impact.
Yeah, and Impact has not looked good on, you know, a decent amount of the carry v carry matchups. So we'll see if TL still want to go that way with his picks, because he has counter pick into the Jayce now. Like you're saying, it is a blind Jayce, so they could, you know, slam it down pretty early for him. If they don't do it now, then Dignitas can have 2 protection bans as well for themselves. So let's see, you know, are RTL going to kind of turn their leaf here and go back to like having 3 tanks on their team to have Core, Impact, and UmTi all on engage and having the kind of classic 2 carry composition for themselves?
It is nice to win.
It looks like it. It looks like it. So we get an instant answer. Yeah, they slam it. They slam it down really early here because, of course, like you said, they don't want it to get, you know, banned away in the future. So it looks like we are going to go back in time a bit to the standard Team Liquid, where Core, UmTi, and Impact are all hard engaged champs. And this honestly is when the team did look their very best.
It really is. But I also have to say, even if, like, what is Team Liquid looking to accomplish by being more flexible in draft? Oftentimes, you want to accomplish being able to pick the best champion for the slot. So this isn't necessarily like, oh, they're putting Impact on tanks. It's when Jayce and Zhao are locked in, Sion's an incredible pick because it's so much physical damage. You're going to be able to become unkillable so early on into the game. Not necessarily the very beginning of the laning phase, but one little thing goes right for Impact, and he's going to be an absolute unit for the rest of the game.
And now they can also ban out some of the bot laners here that might either have a good matchup into the Varus or that can try and take down that Sion. Because you're going to need a lot of damage to get through these health bars between Skarner and Sion, and the Varus damage behind them is going to be very safe.
And I will say, one of the successes from week 1 for Team Liquid is APA had his, in his words, like, best Azir game ever. Yeah. That he drew an Azir ban.
Ooh.
I'd say before that game last year,
that is progress.
Banning away APA's Azir.
That is progress right there. Yeah, I mean, that was his best Azir game of his whole career.
Because they hadn't been that many good ones.
No.
No. Very true, very true. All right, what else? So what other protection bans? Because you named the Azir, but, like, you know, Ziggs is up, and that's the #1 thing that people always fear and always think of. So if they're going to go as far as to banning the most recent, are they going to follow through there?
Ziggs into Zhao can be tough. I mean, when he's got the Crescent Guard up, it's hard to get that damage through. So instead it's a Poppy ban. Let's see if APA actually does want to go towards that pocket pick. There's other options available, though. Like, I don't even hate, Aurora's fine. I was thinking the Seoul as well. There's a lot of options that we know APA likes to pull out.
Yeah.
has been really on the Aurora train. Like we've seen the popularity of this champ still stay high, but it would leave you with very little consistent damage and be pretty highly indexed into burst damage. So surprise, surprise, don't ban the Ziggs. You're gonna get the Ziggs.
And they're laughing about it. Just the fact, I understand, I think, why Dignitas banned the Azir. It looked good last week. A lot of the thinking was that Team Liquid was going to be trying to spread their wings a little bit, not play the same tried and true champions. But if you're just objectively saying you're against APA and you banned Azir over Ziggs,
I mean, I was thinking
that's crazy.
I was thinking tank for impact and then free Ziggs. So, and that's what they go to immediately. So they are thinking we want to win now. I'm pretty sure.
plus CoreJJ gets support counter pick to a blind pick.
Renata
Alistar.
Glask is up. There's a lot of
boy.
options you can go for right now. Now, we've so far only really seen lethality Varus, so I'm expecting it's going to be that poke Varus. Are either of you at all concerned about the fact that it's now 2 poke champions into something like the Xin Zhao?
I mean, in a team fight, it can be a little bit tricky, but I'm not immediately concerned about it at all because, one, the Varus would still have the option of going attack speed if they want to play him with an Enchanter and really bully the lane, and then they have more, little bit more close range damage. And then, two, having poke as your only damage is only a bigger concern to me if a team has great sustain or just incredible engage, and I don't necessarily see that with Dignitas' comp yet.
Yeah, I think Varus is so versatile right now, especially depending on support. They easily could go for a DPS build here too, and so it is going to be the Karma locked in. Very, very powerful lane phase here. Very, very powerful advantage for TL in the 2 versus 2. Sivir and Alistar incredibly weak early on. They're going to focus on just clearing minions for the early game and not getting poked too much.
I don't think I can think of a bigger difference in supports level 1 power. Maybe Braum would be up there with the Karma, but like Alistar's pretty much worthless. And like Karma having access to that empowered Q right away, it's going to make it a nightmare for Tomo and Isles early to just try and hold that. And we've seen how well Team Liquid has used their lead bot side to rotate up to the top side around that 4 minutes like the desk was talking about, Jad, and go in for those grubs. So I think that this is playing into Team Liquid's strengths right now incredibly.
It really is. This is a draft where Team Liquid says that they absolutely want to win. It's still 2 engaged champs. It's 2 frontline. I don't care the core's not on a primary engager because they have enough in their team comp to get it done.
All right, let's see if it is enough for Team Liquid versus Dignitas. Rematch from Dignitas' first game with Srtty in the top lane from Split 1. Let's see if he can get it done here.
Can I make a petition to change the Yeon picture from his peace sign at the end there to the
rock and roll,
the rock
with
and
the
roll
tongue out,
flagging GIF?
Make it the GIF, make it the animated one.
Get an animated one up there. A little bit more energy into it.
That's iconic at this point.
It certainly is.
You can make the petition. Are you asking for it to change? Because you could always make a petition. You don't have to ask permission to make a petition.
I'm making the petition now. If you would like to have the Yeon picture changed, then I need your signature in chat right now. We need to sign that one.
Make it GoFundMe. Let's really get some movement here.
And honestly, I think it would be incredibly accurate for this TL team with the way this team has gone. It has been so Yeon-centric, and especially with the way that this draft went. Of course, they are going back to, it's just APA and Yeon as the 2 main carries here with incredible front line plus the support of a Karma to keep them safe. And they're on some very, very comfortable champions for themselves.
And also, Kangas, to assuage your concerns about Varus and Ziggs being too poke-focused, they have the lethal tempo Varus already, so I believe he's going to be going the higher sustained damage attack speed Varus, which does make sense when you have not only an Enchanter in the Karma, but such a big front line with Sion and Skarner.
And it makes sense that the Skarner is going to be pathing down towards the bottom side of the map because Sion and Skarner not going to have a lot of kill threat on a Jayce. So UmTi will be pointing his jungle path down to the bottom side while Sheiden is heading towards top side. Interesting stuff here. We'll see if they can actually have some sort of effect, because Yeon and CoreJJ, as we said, regardless of what build you're going to go on Varus, U plus A Karma is always going to have massive prio over Alistar Sivir.
You can see all Isles can do is throw out the head, but that's the poke Alistar. That's what we call that one. Just a little bit ticks of damage.
Yeah, and also really good early warding by Team Liquid. You can see they can see Zhao on his Raptors, so that means Yeon and CoreJJ can continue to play incredibly aggressively 2v2 because they know that there's no possible gank coming.
Yeah, pathing top.
And both teams do have the same award there for Raptors, so opposite is true for Dignitas, where they now know
Life is pain.
The Skarner is pathing the other way. Okay, little
taking a big trade right now.
Like
APA is winning this one and has UmTi nearby. Keine, does he even flash? He will, and still goes down. First blood to UmTi.
I mean, that is just rough there for Keine. They did see Skarner was pathing down, but UmTi, as he often does, will make a slight variation to a full clear to get something done. APA had the nice hit back on the satchel charge, and just, he knows his all-in damage more than anybody else is going to know in Ziggs matchups.
And that is just straight up better comms and better jungling. Always watching all of your lanes, whether it's APA saying, hey, I'm going to go for an all-in on Keine now, I'm going to start this fight, wrap around.
So many turns. It's as he gets pulled in, he skips his camp. So he's already ready for APA to take this all in.
Yeah, he was already clicking down. So really good satchel charge there from APA. That is the key. He satchel charges him over to this side of the map where UmTi is. And then UmTi flashes for it as well.
I think he probably shouldn't have flashed.
I think APA could have soloed that. Honestly, I don't even know. I mean, maybe Keine flashes over the wall and gets away that direction. But yeah, UmTi definitely flashing in to take that one. It's a secure as bot side. Oh, Tomo limping away with that flash.
12 HP, but I think pretty nice that he didn't die there since he didn't have the barrier or the heal. So he's going to be able to full heal, catch that wave. That's actually one of the best case scenarios when you're running a teleport AD carry there, that you get pushed back early in the lane because you can teleport right back.
But does Yeon go topside? We're at that 4-minute mark. No, he's actually pathing towards bot right now, so not going to go for the immediate swap.
Yeah, go back down to this lane. You have such an advantage in it. I don't think there's any reason to swap away from it. Meanwhile, Core gets a little bit of time to head out through mid lane. Usually on your first recall there for supports, you can have the option of going somewhere else. So you just go through mid lane and then come back down bottom side, since Isles and Tomo are still pushing this one. They couldn't quite finish with that.
Huge wave right there.
Yeah, Core is trying to walk up to push them back. Yeon cannot follow up, so looks like we'll have another reset from Tomo and Isles. Yeah, they're channeling back. Core's just going to walk up and play harassment right now.
Good stop.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit risky because they technically didn't have eyes on Xin, but gets completely unpunished. So just another heads-up play by CoreJJ. A lot of deep wards that are going to catch UmTi potentially in his jungle, but it doesn't matter at this point because there's not really many plays for Sheiden to make.
And now we want to watch how quickly can Yeon and CoreJJ shove this wave, because the timer for grubs is coming up very quickly.
Yeah.
So you want to shove this really fast and then go match again to fight it up on that top side and actually get there in time, because they've got already a very nice gold lead due to the minion difference here over the duo lane. So even though Isles and Tomo will get there first, Yeon and CoreJJ get to push that wave right back out and come with a better buy. I believe that was already fully upgraded Berserker Greaves I saw in inventory for Yeon. So he's going to get there quick, and he is going to be very deadly.
Heads up play from bot side. Is Keine in some trouble mid lane right now? Big damage. Core cannot get that chain to land.
Yeah, but that's just no TP mid lane. Take him to below half health right before going to the Scuttle Crab. And let's look at the upcoming games as well for the Dignitas team. Starts the year already 0-2. The schedule gets hard here. They're playing 3 of the perceived top 4 in the LCS in their next 3 games. So it's likely getting worse before it gets better for Dig, unless they can pull something off in this game.
This would be a big upset if they can. Because again, Shopify Rebellion, as well as Lions, 2 of those teams in the bottom 4 from last split, losing to them early is tough. Regardless of that earlier lane swap from Tomo and Isles, though, because of that mid lane play, Team Liquid do have priority in the lanes they need it. UmTi is able to go for those grubs and pick them up. No contest for the Dragon. Sheiden is hanging around bot side, but Impact's pushing him off.
I mean, it's just been exquisite play from Team Liquid so far, because yes, Dignitas was first to swap top lane with Tomo and Isles, but because the mid lane collapsed so fast, Tomo then recalled back, went bottom lane again. Like, he has wasted so much time on this Sivir, whereas Team Liquid, I feel like, has always been on the wave when the most minions are available.
And the best part is, because TL were winning mid lane so heavily, they're able to deny any sort of cross-map play for those grubs. TL go up and they get the grubs. They have UmTi over there, but what does Sheiden get to do? He walks back towards his other side of the map, and the Sion is harassing him. CoreJJ is going to harass him. Like, there is no response there from Dignitas. TL
no gate for Srtty, yeah. As soon as he throws out that acceleration gate, he now has to flash from the Chain of Corruption. Does not have the movement speed to get away otherwise.
And then this is also your Sion versus Jayce. What happens when Srtty has two people going towards him? Well, he's going to get frozen off the wave, chased through his jungle by a Karma, whereas Impact kind of just presses W and charges Q, and there goes the wave.
Some interactive gameplay right there from Impact. And Tomo is now 17 CS behind. That's about 2 waves, going on 3 waves. He's able to push that one in, but again, once Yeon picks up this next wave, it is looking fantastic for Team Liquid early here. They even have the ability to go for this dragon next, as we see the reset from UmTi, and he's passing towards the bot side of the map.
Yeah, no flash for Srtty, so CoreJJ is going to constantly move up to harass him, gets the chain. Even without it being a poke Varus, still get some extra poke damage done there. And it's about, for Dignitas, how are you actually going to get money into your win cons here? Like, you guys both mentioned it already, but the Sivir being held down like that is a huge problem. And with the top lane there, the minions just out of reach. You know, now it's no flash and no teleport. Therefore, Srtty has to use both summoner spells, and Yeon has kept the minion wave on their side the whole time.
That's gross.
It is just painful to watch from the Dignitas POV.
But if we're talking about counterplay, the painful thing to me here is that they didn't somehow force Drake there. Yeah, I mean, CoreJJ and Yeon are both just sitting top lane when they have a top laner who's got the wave frozen on him, based with teleport available. The effective people they could have at Drake is 5 versus 3.
Instead, they're making a play on Yeon right now. We have the Weaver's Wall come through. Yeon still alive. CoreJJ keeping him safe with the shields. Now comes Sheiden, big Inferno Bomb over top, and they actually turn the play. Isles goes down. Now APA's joined in. Satchel charge could be used. Srtty, no flash available. He is stuck on this side of the wall. It goes from bad to worse for Dignitas. Look for the play. Team Liquid catch it.
Dignitas, you could tell they had missed out on a lot of plays. They were desperate to try something, so they do the all-in, but they have no prep work done for that dive. There's multiple summoner spells up for Yeon. They have no control of Impact's teleport, and it just becomes a total disaster.
I swear, legit from Champ Select, you could tell Teal came in with this, like, we are going to smash this game. We are serious. But here's the attempted play. Yeon flashes the seismic shove. Very nicely done from him, which buys the time for the Avengers to arrive. TL Avengers here, getting all the cleanup kills. The teleport came in. The Ziggs ult came in from downtown there. Srtty, as we said, has no summoner spells. He's going down too. And it is a bloodbath. Look at those smiles. Wait, Dodo in the back there is kind of sleeping. He doesn't really care.
It's been a hard week. That's why they want to win so badly. Dodo's showing
he's like, as expected. Okay. But I swear, from Champion Select, straight, like, from that point, you know, that they locked in the Sion, was there any point that Dignitas, you know, had, like, an advantage? I mean, we're only 10.5 minutes in the game, so I'll definitely calm down.
Yeah.
But that being said, TL are massively ahead, and they have a composition that they have shown that they are very well equipped to be able to end games with.
In your defense, Kobe, as well, Team Liquid currently, I know it's only week 2, just the beginning of week 2, but they have the fastest game time in the league. So they have been turning these, you know, advantageous positions into wins. At least one of them. Ooh, Chain of Corruption goes a little wide from Yeon there.
You want to take it back now, Kobe? Yeon just missed his ult again.
It's all crumbling!
It's crumbling away!
One ult at a time, Jet!
Oh, wait, look, they still are winning with a frozen wave.
Jet.
Core walking in front of the cannon.
Jet, the Karma ult was also used!
Oh, no! But it's back up, at least. You know, the cooldown's a little shorter.
And
but
you got value out of it, so.
And we see here, UmTi's going to try and stop the back of Tomo.
He did.
Ooh, it does actually go for it. Isles not able to communicate that correctly. So now they're going to have to go for a much later reset. That's more plates to Team Liquid. That's more minions denied to Tomo. And A deeper grave that Dignitas is getting dug into right now.
Advantage.
Impact in the 1v1. Big damage onto Srtty. He just has no answer. Is this a solo kill? Flash from Impact. Throws out the instinct Q. One more auto. There's the E. And he has to walk away. Srtty is alive. Impact doesn't go down, but that was too close for comfort.
I mean, Impact just got extra greedy there. I think he's still going to be able to get a plate for free, or thank goodness he didn't kill Srtty as well, but that was just always going to be a good play for him with the 2-level advantage, with how much armor he's already built, with Srtty still having no flash. The only fear would have been that Sheiden would have overstayed after his grubs were gone, but Impact is going to know almost for sure that he needs to go bail out bottom lane, because every lane is in pain here for Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, look how good he looks there on the side. That was, you know, forces Srtty back, gets 2 turret plates for himself, and denies the minion wave there. That like it is just overwhelmingly TL favored at the moment, and since they have Ziggs on their team too, they can finish towers really quickly. This last one only needs a little hit for that turret plate, and to get a little bit lower there for APA's execute. So you can already see UmTi kind of hovering down to his side of the map too.
Really wants him to get that first turret, and I think the strengths of this Team Liquid are very similar to the strengths we've seen from them when they've been champions, how well they're moving around the map. They might just want to kill here.
Yeah, stun up. Kaine's able to survive for now. And because of that dive attempt, I actually don't know if APA can get this turret. Big damage on Keine, but not enough to kill. They didn't have the ultimate available. Now APA is in trouble, has the flash available, and a convenient pause as APA will have to rethink some of his positioning choices in this lane.
But
CoreJJ put his hand up.
He didn't use his satchel charge, so he still has that to gain some distance from the Xin Zhao.
Plus the flash.
And flash, yeah. Satchel charge flash. You could definitely tell that was a very classic Ziggs moment of when is the turret going to be executable? Just one more auto, surely, but
it's actually beneficial for him that he didn't get it low enough, because then he didn't use the satchel charge to finish it off. So now he
that
has
been
it to escape
gold.
still.
Yeah.
CoreJJ having some type of issue, will have to get that resolved quickly.
And
All right, get some pagodas up here. Let's get some of those rolls up here. I did not have lunch, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I actually could use one as well. Maybe we can have one of the PAs bring us some.
Let's get them up here.
Piping hot. We got a microwave in the break room.
Yeah,
do we have an oven?
We can figure this out.
Is there an oven in the studio? Can we like do a home baked one?
There's a microwave oven.
Yeah.
Well, technically in the title, you know, semantics. I'll give it to you.
What am I, an egg roll scientist?
Look, man, I just put it in the machine and it comes out hot. That's all I need to know. We'll let you know, though, once we have an update onto what the pause is. But for now, we just get a chance to bask in maybe the return of Team Liquid Glory. I mean, that was how we framed this coming in, and I want to go back to kind of the setup for this team. Yes, a disappointing performance at first stand. Yes, kind of questions around these rumors of hearing tryouts and looking at different players for different positions, but so far, I mean, this is stock standard Team Liquid. They're playing clean, they're playing to the map, and they are playing above the level of Dignitas in pretty much every corner.
So I just got an update on the data for my petition that I started at the beginning.
Oh, where can I find this petition, Kobe?
And it's online.
Okay, online.
On the web. Turns out the petition passed. We
nice.
Nice.
Congratulations.
730,000 signed.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Tell us what it was for as it's
Okay, well, we're back to live. Can APA get away? Sheiden jumps in. There's a satchel charge, and I think we got our answer. Sheiden picks up the first kill of the game for Dignitas.
Okay, so down regardless. APA did not use any summoner spells there, but Isles.
Okay, now we're continuing the play from Team Liquid. Isles does walk away.
So it's just kind of no rebuttal here, I guess. They didn't even blow the summoner spell off APA. Oh. So TL are
that was the best play of the entire game by Dignitas.
Yeah.
In terms of net result, because that was just a kill on APA.
It did take a while.
It must have been blown like at the beginning of the replay. I was wondering why he just went down with it.
Yeah, but they lost a wave mid. They didn't get the rebuttal. Now they might get the turret because Core and Yeon can close in on Keine, at least make him go away.
Interesting that's not the Ziggs getting the turret, though. It is still going to be Yeon and CoreJJ. This is the power of the Team Liquid roster. Yeon has been performing incredibly well, and now 2 kills to his name. He's got so much CS advantage, plus all of those plates that he picked up. I mean, this is just like, you can't script it better for the bot lane of Team Liquid.
All right, so let's see about this flash. Is he, because Sheiden has one to answer too. Okay, so he flashes the W, and then Sheiden probably just
Yeah.
Yeah, just walks him down.
And the angle of that satchel charge, yeah, it did knock Sheiden back that far.
Okay, so there you go. Take down the flash off the Ziggs. Take down the Ziggs itself.
Ooh, back
tiny
to
bit of
live. Impact looked for the engage and got flash. I believe that, yeah, that was Shaiden's flash right there. We have the next spawn of objectives up top side here in a minute 15.
Yeah, if we're looking at what Team Liquid wants to do with their next play, I think they're just going to continue to try and get this first tier of turrets down, with the next Drake being up in about 50 seconds. So I'm likely thinking that Yeon definitely in a bit of trouble,
Okay, well, Yeon just sidestepping, doesn't sidestep that wind, becomes lightning, and he is caught out of position, out of sorts. Sheiden with another kill and another shutdown.
Big here for Dignitas, getting some scrappy kills to try and fight their way back into it. See if they can turn this into anything. Sheiden does get stopped here by Core, but it's just a little bit of annoyance. We got to look forward to these objectives here. Only 20 seconds on the Dragon spawning on the other side of the map. But with both junglers up on the top side, it's going to take a while to get down there. And we'll look at the second pack of grubs as well. Another recall. I mean, these recall interrupts are key because the second grubs and because of the Dragon up right now. You're going to be able to get an objective out of just stopping recalls, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what CoreJJ is really trying to do right now, but maybe he's gone too far.
Yeah,
I think he's dead too.
Trying to collapse in right now, and we have Isles on the flank. All right, Core, I like the vision, I like the look, but look at, again, how much time he is buying. It's his life. He even flashes to buy more time. Every member of Dignitas wants some of that.
At this point, don't even recall Sheiden. Just take the second grubs. Get 6 grubs for Dignitas.
Well, it's Herald. We already had the 3 and 3 for each, yeah.
Trolling. But Herald picked up for him. So they get the objective on top of it. You can turn that into some into a tower as well for your team. Try and balloon the gold.
Okay, you know what? A bit of a comeback for Dignitas. Team Liquid are giving them a couple of angles. The early couple minutes, there was really nothing for Dignitas to do, but for this moment here, they actually have a slight window.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes have been huge because that also gives them the opportunity to continue to make plays. The tempo that Isles has on the map at the moment means they could think of something to do at this turret, but they are probably backing away with Core being back on the map.
APA is going to catch that top wave, as Core is right behind him in case there's any kind of dive attempt here. So all in all, I mean, the gold lead has shrunk a little bit, but Team Liquid do still have that dragon stacking advantage. They are getting closer towards that and will be a mountain soul. So you're already talking about the tankiness of the Sion, of the Skarner. It's going to be even harder for things like the, poke Jayce to get through all of that.
Yeah, how's Jayce going to exist in this game? Would be a good question.
It's got to be Bruiser build, surely, right? I just don't see else how you're going to try and get through the health bars of things like Sion.
Yeah, I mean, the Shojin and Muramana is definitely the key there, but like, yeah, I mean, they do have to watch out for some things like, Skarner coming through walls and Varus ultimate for picks on the side of TL, but honestly, I think the side lane control might get a little difficult. We'll see how well Dignitas can funnel money into this Sivir. If they can plant Sivir in the mid lane and farm Sivir up there and then like use Taliyah wall to come on over and kind of cover for them, then maybe they do have a way towards a suitable mid game.
Yeah, and I think the more that Jayce can be on the other side lane from the Sion, the more effective he'll be, because Jayce is still going to be okay if he's up against a Varus or more importantly like a Ziggs like this. It's not like APA can just push him out and easily win that 1v1. So Srtty, as long as he's in matchups like this, he can continue to be effective.
Bunch of gold for Dignitas. Really does kind of
now.
Changes completely the territory that we're working with here, and Team Liquid, it's just so many of those straggling kills given over after a position of dominance. So we'll look forward to it. Again, they are doing their 1-3-1. Just kind of plant in mid the Sivir here, farm up as much as you can. Taliyah takes care of bottom and then threatens to roam up to the rest of the squad here.
They're looking.
Team Liquid might look for their own play right now. Flash word from UmTi, misses the impale.
Ooh,
and Sheiden able to get out of there.
Those are the two biggest engage tools, the Sion ult and the Skarner ult, both used here. So now the only danger Dignitas have to worry about is Varus ultimate catching somebody. So that leaves the split push of the Taliyah unanswered on the bottom side, with no big punish. This is huge for Dignitas.
This is a crazy turn. Dignitas has the map pressure at this point. With all those engage tools being burned, as you mentioned, they can probably get the majority of this turret, if not all of it.
They have no Impact
you were
ultimate to
saying-
stop it.
I Mega cursed it. Yeah,
Mega cursed it.
cursed it.
You're saying there's no way that Dignitas win this one?
I didn't say that.
You're saying Team Liquid will always beat Dignitas until the end of time.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. You bet your hair on it, too.
Holy guacamole. I'm going to
Crazy.
shave after this?
But I mean, how did this happen? And this is super interesting to me right now because now I'm starting to think about what's happening.
Jack, do you want to make a bald bet?
No, okay, well maybe, but because that's high stakes.
Yeah,
that is high stakes.
It's really high stakes. I personally don't. I was just testing the waters.
On the remainder of this game would be a wild bet as well. I feel like that's
really
a future
would.
one.
But okay, we were thinking the Team Liquid is going to be experimenting in draft in the positioning phase because ultimately they're going to be going through the next round anyway. But then they pull out this draft and we think, oh, they really
serious.
want to win.
Yeah.
But why would they really want to win? Have they been running it in scrims all week? Is their coordination
Now with the tinfoil
going
hat
down the
goes
drain?
on.
And now that they made that first mistake, it's been like 6 or 7 mistakes after, and Dignitas actually has a lead now.
Yeah, and they went from looking very serious from Champ Select and the first 10 minutes of the game to looking very unserious in the last, 7 minutes with just stragglers basically going in. It's the ants go marching in one by one.
And I don't want to curse them too much, but it kind of is giving reminders of how it looked at first stand. It's not that they weren't trying to make plays. It's just that they were mechanically mis-executing when they were going for looks or getting caught out of position.
So is
CoreJJ
Srtty Zeus in this analogy?
Yes, I think so.
I see.
There we go. Reddit, quote me on that. Srtty equals Zayce. There, I just said it. Now you can, good work, literally quote it. Well, Team Liquid do still have control over the mid wave. They can push this in, and with Ziggs, at any point, a pick or an uncontested sideline can turn into more gold and more turrets for Team Liquid. Right now, we're jockeying around for the Dragon, though, spawning right now, and Team Liquid currently have more vision control around the bottom river.
Yeah, a lot of mid prio to be fought over here, and not great river control by Dignitas. That could
It's
be an
actually
engage.
pick onto Keine right now. Team Liquid do find one. Isles pushes back UmTi. Keine will have to reposition.
Very good poke
Has
there.
TP.
Tomo?
Oh, he just like me for real, everybody. You know what? I said it last week. That thing's hard. It's hard to get that the right direction. But also, I'm going to say calculated because if he had taken it, probably would have been bad.
Well, the right direction was to use it to escape.
Yeah,
that was an intended escape vehicle there for him. But the fact that you had to do that because, bottom side, like you're saying, big chunks onto both Keine as well as Isles. APA kind of lock back in there. Nice little couple of chunks from him and UmTi to earn themselves Dragon number 3.
There we go.
And get the game a bit more back on track as far as the Team Liquid perspective there, where they wanted to work towards their Dragon Soul. It's just that now we're in a situation, because they gave it over so many of those kills in the mid game, that Dignitas actually have 2 item power spikes on everybody except for the supports there, or even the supports with their item conversions. So they actually have the capabilities here to put a lot more pressure, towards Otacon and onto TL in some of these rotations.
And the biggest snapback for me here is Tomo only being 600 gold behind Yeon. That laning phase with all the swaps back and forth they did, and Yeon getting the first turret for himself, it just was around 2,000. So now, in a front-to-back team-fighting world, he could still be pretty effective on the Sivir after a disastrous early game.
Plus, from a jungle perspective, Zhao into Skarner is always like, oh man, Skarner's this big beefy tank now, doesn't do as nearly as much damage as he used to do. Zhao Conqueror really gets to live off of these front lines. And then the ultimate's so effective against both those TL carries. So we'll see what Sheiden can do with getting the kill credit for a lot of these early kills here. Because this has been a guy that we've been looking at for Dignitas since he did come in a little bit late for the squad. What he can do, what Srtty can do as well. But continuing to deal with the pressure in mid, and Ziggs will destroy that turret as well.
Ziggs hitting an outer turret is inevitable. Very hard to stop it, even with the wave clear of a Sivir. Team Liquid just commit 4 members to it and have now cracked another one. There's only top turret left if they want to rotate up there.
Yeah, and even though Dignitas has done a lot to pull themselves back into this game to make the gold close, they're still staring Soul Point right in the face. Mountain Soul, 3 minutes to go. If that goes over to Karma, Sion, Skarner, they're going to be very difficult to kill. And Team Liquid is now just kind of really just brute forcing around the map to get these turrets. All 5 top.
Impact yet again going for the play on the top side. as Isles is there to play goalie. Keine uses the Weaver's wall and gets flash out of UmTi.
And they're also split pushing again while this is happening. So many of these plays, Dignitas are split pushing while they are making these plays with TL. And this one, you know, last time it was the Taliyah who got the outer turret. Srtty gets half of the inner turret and forces Impact's teleport.
That was a disaster play from Team Liquid. They couldn't get the wave to the turret.
Yeah.
So they sent all 5 people up there. Dignitas doesn't just like panic match it. They actually played that like the better team there by stopping the push, making sure the wave is gone, and then just pressuring waves to get tempo on the map.
I hate to say it, Team Liquid's playing into Srtty's strengths. He's the solo queue master. Just pushing a side lane as a top laner, you're letting him do his comfort, you know?
It is kind of funny that APA then just walked up after and got the turret.
Yeah, you know, it didn't actually matter that much.
But still, really close game.
Yeah, APA has been the most locked in TL player this game. You know, with the really good early start he had in lane phase, as well as like keeping his focus on the objectives, taking down the outer turrets, getting the chunk before dragon. So now our next big question is going to be a minute and a half in the future here.
Yep.
The setup for that Drake will be imperative for the side of Team Liquid, because constant money has been flowing into the Sivir and into this Dignitas team. It's going to get a little dicey if TL are unable to finish their fight towards the Soul.
And Team Liquid's actually trying to control the access point right now. Dragon's not up for another minute.
Yeah, if you can blow a flash or something right now, we always talk about blowing a summoner spell beforehand. So you kind of like, you fish around, see if anyone's lazy.
And then your Rare Soul might be back up by the time Dragon's there. Yeah, it makes sense.
I do want to point out UmTi has a Heartsteel. You might think he doesn't because he has 0 stacks on his Heartsteel at 26 minutes.
He has had that
but
for a
he does
minute.
have the item.
Will he finish his second item before getting a stack of Heartsteel?
That's a great question.
Yes.
I do.
Well, you bet your
I'm gonna
hair
go
on it,
yes.
Jet.
Jeez. We got into dangerous waters here.
we're just ramping it up to 100 every bet right away.
I mean, so I'm kind of pulling for Dignitas a little bit here because it looked so rough for them in week 1. They were in decent positions and then lost late game situations. Now, though, they don't have any map pressure and Impact is charging.
Oh, don't walk in. That's making smash, big Q knock up, and now Alistar's just taking all the damage, and Pale only lands on a 1, and he just carries Isles to the back line. He's running away. Isles says tag in, the rest of the team Impact buying.
Okay.
So much space for Liquid, though. He holds the line. Dignitas cannot get through the health bars, and they will win the team fight.
That was the funniest game of Red Rover send Isles right over that I have seen ever in League of Legends. APA can find one!
Oh, and he finds it. Sheiden caught window shopping, did not see APA around the wall.
All right, APA is for sure the most locked in member.
He really is. I mean, he did so much damage in that team fight because very disjointed initiation there from Dig. Dig had no vision in River, so they couldn't follow through. The Taliyah ultimate, cutting their own team off as Isles zips through the rest of the team. Yeah. Big disaster. Soul goes over to Team Liquid, and now they're turning straight for Baron.
Keine just teleported top to get that push, but now doesn't have TP to answer this play. Went for the reset instead of sticking around, so Team Liquid on the Baron. We have TP coming in from Tomo, but Sheiden still dead for 9 seconds. No smite contest. It's going to have to be a fight. Dignitas, I mean, backs against the wall. They just lost a Dragon's Soul. They can't stop the Baron from going down. Team Liquid secure it, and now if they can just get out of the river, they're in fantastic position. They do. Do they kill Srtty on the way out? Flash from the top laner of Dignitas, and no stop of the Baron. Team Liquid get out with the objective.
All right, back on track. Now with Baron buff, it becomes way, way, way easier here to push the lead ahead. Secondary towers are all up and available for TL to cash in on, basically. A lot of standing gold in those towers, so they can use the Baron recall, just reset, get back out to your 1-4 split push. Honestly, they could go 1-3-1, but I'd much rather see a 1-4. Don't overextend on triple lanes here and just hard siege. You've got a Ziggs, you've got Baron buff, just straight push forward here on 2 lanes and get it done.
100% agree. 1-3-1 is a little bit too risky, and you can even do like almost a modified 5-man push. Like Impact can just shadow the rest of the team, make sure he's buffing up Baron minions in one spot. But
yes, TP and ult.
They do have so many options right now. They know that Isles doesn't have flash. There's the Mountain Soul that makes at least Sion and Skarner just so incredibly unkillable. The only guy who should be careful right now is Yeon.
And speaking of, he does have to flash away from Isles engage. Big damage back. UmTi now in here. Impale's available. Does he want to go for it? Teleport used very early by Impact there just to keep Yeon safe. So Team Liquid, now the 1-4 is foregone. Impact has grouped up, but they still can just push this wave in. Weaver's Wall might cut off UmTi and Impact. The tanks are not with the rest of the team, but there's just not enough damage to really threaten anything here. And with that satchel onto the turret, now Team Liquid can walk forward!
Got him!
Big engage from Impact. Will pick up 2 more, and Team Liquid will continue the siege.
That's what they envisioned when they locked in these champions. They're thinking Sion's going to fly in, Skarner's going to pull him back.
That's going to be the game. You have to imagine Team Liquid still have the Baron-empowered minion. They have the cannon. Let's see if they can close it out right here. Dignitas have the Sivir. Wave clear is strong. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. All right, UmTi position behind. Now the minions are coming in. I don't think anybody from Dignitas is walking up. Team Liquid have the flank of Isles, though. Engaging onto Yeon, and it's turned right back on its head. Team Liquid will claim the carries and claim the game.
Okay, maybe can't kill. Oh, can't kill, nice.
Okay. Close out right here.
Nice, GG guys.
No answer from Dig. Team Liquid, a clean second half. Let's frame it.